The 24th, 1184 BC, the night Troy burned. They had been drinking for 3 days. On the night of the 24th of April, 1184 BC, according to calculations made by the Greek scholar Eratosthenes 1,000 years later, the city of Troy fell. It had held out for 10 years. The siege had become its own kind of life. Greek warriors had married the local women in the surrounding countryside. They had buried their dead in mounds along the shoreline of Asia Minor. A generation of sons had grown up who had never seen the homes their fathers had sailed from. The men on the walls of Troy had been born inside the siege. Then one morning, the Greeks were gone. Their camp was empty. Their ships were over the horizon. All that remained on the plain was a wooden horse as tall as the city gate, standing silently beside the burned remains of their last bonfire. The Trojans spent the day arguing about what to do with it. One of their priests, a man called Glaucon, told them to destroy it. He struck it with a spear and said he could hear men moving inside. A sea serpent came out of the water and killed him and his 2 sons in front of the crowd. The crowd took this as a sign. They brought the horse inside the walls. That night the city held a festival. The wine ran in the streets. The soldiers slept where they fell. A Greek spy named Sinon, who had allowed himself to be captured days earlier, slipped through the celebrations and lit a fire on the highest tower of Troy to signal the fleet. The Greek ships had not left. They had sailed behind the nearest island at dusk and waited. Around midnight, the hatch on the underside of the wooden horse swung open. 23 men dropped to the stones of the citadel. Odysseus was the first of them. They killed the guards at the gate and threw it open just as the first of the returning Greeks reached the walls. What followed has been called the most complete destruction in the memory of the ancient world. King Priam was cut down at the altar where he had fled to pray. His son Hector was already dead. His daughter Cassandra, the prophet no one would believe, was dragged out of the temple of Athena by her hair. Every man and boy in the city was killed. Every woman and girl was sold. The city was burned to ash. Eratosthenes dated the fall to this night. Historians have argued about his calculations for 2,000 years. What is certain is that a real city stood at the place Homer named. Archaeologists dug it up in the 19th century. They found layer upon layer of settlement going back to the Bronze Age, and one layer in particular that had been destroyed by fire around 1180 BC. Among the ashes, they found bronze arrowheads. They found skeletons of people who had died running. They found the charred remains of a large wooden structure inside the gate. What had happened there was violent and sudden, and something had ended. 3,000 years later, we still tell the story. A prince who took a king's wife, an army of 1,000 ships, a wooden horse on an empty plain, a priest killed by serpents, a city that opened its gates to its own destruction. The first story Europe learned to tell about itself. It begins here. If you enjoyed, please like and subscribe. Thank you.